Morning, legends. We are over here in Auckland. We're going to go through last night's 3 games. They were good fun, except for the fact that the Wires lost there 26-12. And Shibasaki with the double, and the 76 was pretty incredible there for him. One of his crazy scores of the year with 10 tackle breaks to go along with 3 line breaks. So I think it's just an incredible story how well he has played this year after having him at the Cows. A massive turnaround story. And speaking of turnaround stories, Aaron Clark is the top tier keeper of all top tier keepers, basically, apart from Tails Duncan after last night. That one hurt, but with Aaron's 57 in 66 minutes, this seems to be probably where his norm will be, which is good. They did have the 1 or 2 games where he had that early 50s minutes and in big wins. Now they've lost 2 in a row. He's going to continue playing these minutes, and with the offloads and the base stats that he can roll through, he's pretty well a must-have in that hooking slot. We've got Watson, you've got guys like Grant as well that could do a job, but they're not going to be as consistent as what Clark is here in that 13 role. With just the running side of things is the main difference, because they're going to get the offloads and tackle breaks there. Now Karapani with 54 for him. This was 2 turnover tackles and try saver helped him out, but a much better base stat game for him to go along with the 2 line breaks and the try. So he becomes definitely an option next week and is someone that I will consider. We've got guys like Turbo that could do a job as well. And do you spend the money on Drinkwater and Pappy and these types of players as well, or do you go cheaper here? Now with Karapani, he's going to be about that 380 though, so probably a situation where you take a Turbo or something like that instead. And then Reynolds there with 53. Just shows why he's going to be that mid-50s type scorer and be pretty consistent for a half that is slightly under the top tier guys, especially when you saw Katoa last night, what he can do, and Cleary this week as well. But a 53 for him, really, really good. Now for Payne Haas, he's 49. You can't work it out. Hey, you have that extra bit of rest time, and then they shut him down a bit more. So it depends on the team. You see some. I was watching Karaz the other night, and Panthers, they really tried to shut down his offload, and he's still got 4 away, but you can see when they defend, they go for the ball straight away. They try to wrap that up, and then they have someone that's usually behind the play waiting for that offload, and that stops the player from pushing that one. And I felt like they did that a bit better with Haas this week. And I don't know, maybe after the heroics of last week, he was a bit sore and sorry, because he had a few good runs, but it wasn't the same as the week before. And the minutes were down a little bit as well, which made sense in this one. They were up by a decent margin as well, and he only made 99 meters. So for those that have him, the 100 last week was awesome, and you got the 49 for a nice 75 average across the 2. So as a non-owner now, I can breathe the sigh of relief with not owning him, but 100% is still a big purchase come round 21. If our Margo there with 49 and 36, very impressive for that one. Not negative in sight, which was good. Carrigan, 46. There's a lot of injuries and stuff yesterday as well. Apparently he had something like ice or whatever in his leg following this game, but it's 46 for him. It's back-to-back sort of lower scores, which is frustrating. But you got Walsh there with 45, and sounds like there's a decent chance now that he's going to be the Maroons' number 1, with Ponga going down injured, which sounds like it's a good chance of Liz Frank injury, which is the same issue that he had, but on the other foot last year. If they pick Walsh, then that's the annoying part. There still were, I think, 90-odd people in the top 1,000 that grabbed him, and they'll be hoping that he doesn't get picked up next week. But what we saw at the end in that final game, that final game there was Hammer come out and score 4 and was incredible at fullback. So I wonder if they'll go with him at 1 and they play like Murray Talangi, bring him back or something like that. So hopefully for buyers of him that's the case. Fish Harris 44, so back to back sort of 40s for him, a bit annoying. Wade Egan another head knock, and so with Fish Harris you just hold, but if you did buy, I don't think there's too many that actually did. Wade 43, he's at a price now where I think you just hold, but thankfully he was all good after the head knock. Laban 58 minutes, so didn't get the full allotment, and then Halsema 35 in his time out there. So the big news here and the saddest news of the day, I think it's likely that the Metcalf has torn his ACL from a very similar mechanism to what we saw with Jonah Pezzett, which was tough. So 34 for him likely is going to be a sell now. And the big problem that we're facing is just how many people are lacking the trades. Now, the top 1,000, we're looking at 5.8 trades for them. I think it was after last night. Might be less, actually. Near 5, whatever it was. Way less than that, Jamie. Whenever it pops up. There you go. Average trades, 4.8, sorry, is left. And what you're looking at is 48 people down at 0, 64 at 1, 84 at 2. So with, Couchman getting injured, if you have Metcalf as well, and then, a few other players that had issues, or, you're going to have to make trades to get to a full 13 next week, that it does make it very, very difficult to put yourself in a position to have a strong 13 or get yourself in a position to have a good round 19 as well. So if you're sitting there with, anywhere here in the 4, 5, 6, 7 onwards up to 12 trades, which is crazy, then you're in a better position than this crew down here with, 3 and below, who are burning through the trades, using them to get injured plays out the side. Chanel got 32, Willison 29, but the Metcalf one's the sad part of this game here, with Pikura 20 and 67. So it's so hard to work out, and how he goes. It's 50 odd and then it's 20. It's never really in between with Pikura at the moment. Now for the Dragons and Eels game, I was actually generally pretty happy with this one. I had personally Yongi and had to play King Tonga, and he picked up the try assist and 2 line breaks early with a few TBs. So he did slow down, but we're not expecting the world out of him. But it's back-to-back 40-plus scores. And actually, I looped him in the end last time and missed out on Savala's score. But 43 for him. It means that we should feel confident enough that next week I can, and you guys as well, between him, Fainu, Savala, if you have Fogarty, you can loop between them all and should be able to get a decent score, which was is the good part about this. He's looking a little bit better each week, and yes, this one was against a lesser opponent in the Eels than what he's going to face week to week. But sometimes you just need these guys for little runs, and then you can trade them on, or you just take their score and let them sit there. But Val Holmes was awesome with 2 tries in this one and the try assist for 78. So he's one of those guys that is somewhat of a keeper in the centres, but there's guys that are averaging in the 50s and in the 60s. So that's where he hasn't been talked about as much with his Origin credentials as well. But he was great. Big Kelma, back-to-back big scores for him with a try, 40 tackles. This is kind of, the games that you hope that we're going to get him out of him at the start of the year, and then, hardly even kept his spot. And you got Katonga on the other side, so both those guys picked up a line break. Katonga with an awesome offload for that try assist as well. So they were great. If you're still holding on to him, I think Liam from last night at the meetup ended up having him in the side, which is good. I'm actually going to show you the photo of that one when we're here. We'll get to that of our meetup at Full Time Sports Bar and Eatery. So a big shout out to Danny, the manager there, for hooking us up for that one. That was an awesome night. We had like 10 people there. That was spent the day watching all the footy there, which was good fun. All right, where am I? There you go. There's the crew in action. Just shout out to the lads for getting that one. Not many beers left at the table, apparently. They just got swiped up, but plenty of happy faces, except for the fact that the Wires lost. But good fun. Keen to do it next year if all goes ahead. So Lomax 54 with the try was good. Finally got back into, he's only scored a couple this year, I think. Jack Williams, another 53, was great from him. They had a lot of injuries, the Dragons. So you see here bigger minutes from guys like Clemmer. Damien Cook ended up just with the 50 minutes in the end, but 50 points was great. Picked up that line break early, and running the footy for 110 metres is awesome and exactly what you want. Apparently he was dealing with some ankle issues the back end of that game, and Nathan Lawson, I think, was carrying his shoulder. Apparently couldn't lift his arm for the last 15 minutes, but kind of stayed out there because they were down to like 1 or 0 players and no interchanges left. So Damien Cook still the best hooker to have for next week, and picked up 15 points on Tavanga owners, so good stuff for Cook owners there. But Yongi, really, really happy with him. It was a slow start, I think -1 in near 20 minutes, and then picked up that try assist and then had a few good runs and some offloads there. So really, really happy with where he's been at. Sort of 4 out of the last 6 games, I think, have been 40 plus. So, yeah, great. And probably with the injuries, I end up likely holding him now, to be fair. Flanagan, 44 for him. Sullivan, Emery Gula played 61 minutes. Spoke about King Tonga. Got Brown's 42. Just been okay, hasn't he? Hawkins, solid game for him. DeBellin, 59 minutes. And yeah, with Couch going off early, you had Tuipulotu ruled out pre-game, like 5 minutes before, and then Lawson ended up running out and playing. So for those that had him in a loop slot, that was frustrating, but thankfully he was able to score a few points. Hopgood, 31 minutes. This is just wild how this one's ended up, eh? He's going to be so cheap next year. He's still averaging 45, which is the wild part. So when we say so cheap, like 45 is still like, yeah, near this price. So Little 38, Gutho, same. Lussick, the GOAT, 36. Corey Allen scored a try for 36. And then you've got, Lawson, 21 with a double. No line breaks, but 4 errors. And the missed tackle on this one, not good. Luciano, just the 35 minutes for him. Quad issue. Couchman, 19 in 45. So it's crazy to see him have the 3 missed tackles. And just, they weren't running at him. Hardly a part of the, getting the ball himself. And just a really sad one now for him to actually succumb to that issue with his shoulder that he had before. I think he actually dislocated it in this one. So he'll be a sell. He's going to be like 640k or something, which is pretty saddening, that's for sure. Now, finish it off with the Dolphins and the Bunnings. I'll ask the GOAT Nicky to do tonight's video on his own. I'll be coming back from New Zealand, so was it 6 p.m. game here? Yeah. By the time I'm on the flight, the games will be might have even started. It'll have just started. So there you go. We'll get him to do that one for me. But yeah, this was the Duncan season. For him to go 2 tries, basically untouched, or 1 tackle break or whatever, within 4 minutes of each other. And I think I looked up when he was going over twice, and it was sad. It was sad. But I've been speaking about him as a buy for the last month, each and every week. But for my personal team, I've got 3. Well, I had until last week 3 extra mid or edges for round 18. So it was something that wasn't necessary to bring in, and it was kind of just hoping that he just scored like 48 and 47, that type of number. But he's been the guy that they're going to on that left hand side, and absolutely avoiding Aitken on the other side on the running part of this. But what's been tremendous is his tackling numbers. 42 tackles last week for 0 or 1 misses, 46 this week, to add to just an impeccable game for him. And they did lose, but for him to go errorless, no negatives at all, for his 96, has to get a shout out. And for everyone who does own, you're gonna win this week basically. So well done on that one. You should make plenty of ranks, and it's still going to be a buy next week. We'll see how many of these guys are actually out in my team. I think we just got some news that Tarpanay potentially just dislocation, so he should be okay for next week. But yeah, Duncan is wanted in the side, but he's still going to be a buy at 620 or whatever he's going to be now. Yeah, Marshall King, Hammer, 69 apiece, 5 tries between them. So yeah, you probably want more than 69 with 4 tries. Didn't have 1 line break in that. 7 tackle breaks, 263 meters. Yeah, very, very big effort from him. And then Marshall King kind of showing his chops. He's been down this year, 531k, but this score really helps him out. And then Farnworth with the line break, the try assist, which is a great pass, by the way, and 9 tackle breaks there. Just continues to go about his business without having negatives. So 66 from him was incredible. Latrell Mitchell, still 400 meters for him kicked, and definitely is going to be a buy. Post-Origin, I'm 100% looking into him, and you guys should too. Oh, the Donahue runaway try, intercept runaway try, that was tough viewing. I think it was 35 at the time with like 10 minutes to go. So if you're a Donahue owner, you won this game as well. I was actually pretty happy with how things had gone up until this game here, and then it went downhill. Duncan killed it. Latrell solid score. Katoa 62, Donahue 60, and then Aitken and Kolomatangi with the low ones on my side was pretty frustrating. But Katoa here, to be fair, as a non-owner, I kind of got away with this one given the negative 20 that he picked up. So that's part of his game, that tackles. He's missed a few the last few weeks. That needs to be cleaned up a bit, because this looks a little bit more like last year and how that was there. So that's the one thing to think of, but incredible in attack. And yeah, Donahue, a great score from him in the full 80 with the issues that they had in the side. With Whiten, he scored a double, so it's good to see him get back into the scoring circle. Arrow, Walker, Osaka there, 44 and 9 goals with no tries. Aiken thankfully got a bit of a update overnight, but 3 missed tackles, the error, and the penalties. If he doesn't have that, like Duncan did, then he's at least in the 50. Isn't that about that 50 mark? So yeah, he's the frustrating one at a price point where you could sell him, but he's a warm body and he's actually playing, so he's not going to be able to. And had the 5 minutes off as well, so a bit frustrating there. Going the wrong direction with Aitken or with Duncan, and these kind of decisions, the 50-50s that weren't really 50-50s at the time. It's like we know what Aitken is. He's a 55 guy, similar to Hosking, apart from this week. He's just not. He had that one good game and then has played centre, and then they're just going left instead of right now with Duncan exploding. So those kind of pick and stick decisions are the ones that can make or break how many ranks you actually push up and the quality of your season. So frustrating there on that one. But what can you do? Moale, the GOAT with the try. Kolomatangi, 37 in 60 minutes. So pretty gross there. A few negatives for him and just no tackle breaks and offloads. That's the frustrating one. I wonder if he's going to be picked for Origin next week, or if he'll miss out given how well he didn't play in, I suppose, in this one. We'll find out tonight or tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. It's good to see Mamzellis back, going about his business, 35 in 46, just crushing as he does. Hubner's 27 in the 46. We had Tauha, who started in the front row, and he's a centre. He's a big boy too, so yeah, don't know how that one worked out. For him to get the starting front row. Oren Keeley, just the 37 minutes, had a good offload early and was getting on some good points, and then kind of failed there for the rest of that one. So he's been a frustrating buy in the end with this 22 after the last few weeks being somewhat decent. And then Ty Munro, if anyone was looking at him at 320, a 24 for him in a pretty poor loss, unfortunately. Was not what you wanted. And no AJ try in this one, which is, boo. People like, can you get 7? Can you get 7 tonight? Wasn't to be. And they're the 3 games done and dusted there. We've got the Storm and the Sharky boys, so I actually don't have any Storm players. Just got Nico. And then, no Drinky, no Titans boys as well. So with Campbell out. So I think I've got my 4 loops. I don't know how many of them are actually counting in my score so far. I hope that it's 0 with my 4 loops, and we can make some ranks. I'm down at the moment, so hopefully I can somewhat stay in a similar rank to where I was with some Haas captainers and all the rest. So thanks for tuning into my Saturday games review, guys. And I'll talk to Nicky, and we'll get him to do the video later tonight for himself. So thanks so much, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.